Hi everyone, this is Lauren. This is my week 6 multimedia presentation. I hope you enjoy it. For my week 6 presentation, the topics I'm going to discuss are as follows. For the GPA, the General Public Administration, I am going to go over budgeting and then also the Great Society. And then I am going to be discussing for Public Service Management and Leadership, or PSML. I'm going to be discussing ethical decisions and leadership and coaching. My two discussion points for the GPA section of this presentation are going to be budgeting and the Great Society. For budgeting, we learned over the course of the past 16 months of how important budgeting is, that it is truly a decision-making process. You can't just go into it without knowing all your information. Looking at the city of Bell and everything that they went through with all their crises of, paying their employees too much and paying the city manager too much. And then the project that we had to do in looking at a city's budget and really dissecting it all into where your money goes when you vote. And how important all these items are to public administration, that if you don't have a budget, nothing is going to get done with what you want. And then for the Great Society, which was given to us by LBJ, the Great Society was to get rid of poverty and racial injustice, which, as we all know today in 2018, we are still struggling with tremendously, even though this program was brought on in the early 1960s. LBJ stated that the Great Society is a place where every child can find knowledge to enrich his mind and to enlarge his talents. This is something that our public administrators need to look back on and realize that, in order to create a great society, so LBJ pointed out that we need to create more education for people that have equal opportunities for everybody in public administrators. Again, with budgeting, when they coincide, you can't get rid of school's budget and look at all their systems in place without looking at what students actually need for these programs. So learning in our public administration master's program especially over like this past few months and then over the past 16 months, looking at how important these two things are and how they coincide with one another. For my PSML portion of the presentation, I wanted to discuss ethical decisions and leadership and coaching. Throughout this program, these two really stood out to me in what I have learned from this whole entire program and what I hope to take with me after graduation. With ethical decisions, taking classes like our legal and ethical issues, and then also with organizational theory and leadership and management. Both of these items coincide with one another, but truly the ethical decisions, and again, looking at the city of Bell and, how can you possibly have a city manager making so much more money when your whole city is struggling to exist? And then looking at the code of ethics, how different organizations, how their ethics play into their everyday lives. And then going into leadership and coaching, what we learn in organizational theory and in leadership management, what's the difference between being a leader and being a coach? How is an athlete being coached, or how is a employee being coached? And we really took a dive into that and seeing how we can become better coaches to one another and in our public administration careers. These four items are what I really took to heart in my references for this presentation and also for the class as a whole. When we watched the documentary Inside Job for our political economy class, I just really took that to heart and learning everything about what happened with the 2008 financial crisis. I was only a senior in high school during that time, so, being a senior in high school, really not paying attention to everything that was going on during that time. But now that I'm older and going through this master's program and watching this documentary and getting to see, everything that happened, and if people don't pay attention to the history that happened in this documentary, we can easily repeat our mistakes. and then reading our textbook, public budgeting systems, really understanding, pinpointing a city's budget and truly understanding everything that public administrators have to do in order to keep a city running. And then reading The Price of Inequality is truly understanding how unequal America is with everything, and how public administrators need to do more to not just make it more equal, but to make it equal so everybody has an opportunity to thrive and to be the best person that they can possibly be. And then the other text that we had, Eyewitness to Power, the essence of leadership from Nixon to Clinton, truly understanding more in depth of the presidencies, especially ones that I'm sure most of us weren't alive for, and truly understanding the public administrators' side to everything, and not just looking at, what Clinton did and what Nixon did, like all the bad things, but truly understanding everything that they had to go through. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and good luck to everybody for graduation.